Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Moletrap here. I am back again. My computer is fixed, sort of, in the sense that it wasn't really broken in the first place. I discovered I basically did the computer equivalent of like there's a hat that I really want to wear, and I can't find it, and I tear everything out of my closet to find it, and I throw it all on the ground and make a big mess, and then I go to tear my hair out in frustration and realize it's on my head. So yeah, I feel kind of like a moron right now, but my computer's back in action. I deleted a bunch of stuff that I didn't need to. Had to reinstall a bunch of stuff too. So, you know, I paid the price for my idiocy, but I am back. I'm back, and today we got a match between Nalra and a player named Yooi. And I'm going to get into these players real quick in just a second, but I want to real quick just mention that I do have some plans to mix things up a little bit. I've got other VODs that I found an old stash of DVDs that I had burned DVDs with old VODs, and I don't know why I did it at the time, but I'm glad I did, because now I have some old VODs, and a bunch of the ones I found are old MSL VODs, but I found a few others as well, and some of them are even like 480p quality, so we're gonna get into the good stuff here pretty soon. Excuse me. But I also might try and track down some old replays and see if I can find some good games to do that way, so we'll get a few high quality video games in here at some point. But in any case, so we got Nalra in the bottom right hand corner. He's the Protoss player. We got Yooi in the top left hand corner. He's the purple Terran player. Nalra, I hope, doesn't need too much of an introduction at this point, since I've already casted a few of his games. But he is an absolute legend and a gentleman who I had the opportunity to work with and chat with. Super friendly guy. But he is a legend, one of the best Protoss of all time. Not objectively, but like in his time, basically. Excuse me. And just an absolute legend. One of the most famous players in StarCraft, known for doing creative stuff, and just really cool player. Yooi is an interesting character. He is someone who I had to look up because I'd like heard his name, and I probably could have told you he was Terran off the top of my head, but I don't know anything about him, and there's a reason for that. Yooi is one of these guys that is a perennial qualifier. He always does well in the qualifying tournaments, and he beats all the other B teamers somewhat consistently to qualify for the lower levels of tournaments, but he just never really found a lot of success until this MSL. This is as far as he's gotten thus far, and I won't tell you what happens in this, but this is the quarterfinals. This is the round of 8, and so this is a player that's never gotten this far in the MSL before, and this is his like chance to have to do well. This is, I think, played in 2006, yeah, and so he's been playing for a few years, and this is coming off of a win against Jaedong in WCG. Didn't win the match, but he took a game off Jaedong, right? He beat Boxer in the Pro League a little bit before this, and Boxer was still, you know, doing really well. So, you know, he's showing that this could be his chance to break out, and so it's an interesting game for Yooi in that sense. This is also game 3, by the way, so of this best of 5. I'm sorry, best of 3. So Yooi actually won the first game, and Nalra won the second game. So this is the tiebreaker game for this match to see who goes on to the semifinals. And that is a huge deal for either of these players. It's a huge deal for Yooi. It's his first time to have be within striking distance of a medal. And Nalra is kind of like on his way out at this point, and people are starting to like doubt, you know, if he's going to be able to stay on top of his game. You know, his first wins were, I believe, in 2001, 2, or 3, something like that. So this is a few years after that. So he's, you know, pro gamers' careers are not often very long. And so, you know, this is kind of a point where he's trying to struggle to stay in the top tier of StarCraft. So a really important game for the careers of both players. In any case, let's actually get in. So much introduction. I apologize for that. It feels like it was long. I'm looking at the timer. It's only been less than 5 minutes. So, but in any case, let's go ahead and talk about this real quick. We do have basically 1 base openings for both players right here. Well, are we going to see a Nexus? Actually, we'll see if we see a Nexus. But we're seeing a 2 factory play from Yooi. So this is a rush build basically. And he's kept his ramp blocked, so we don't know if he's doing a 2-base play or if it's a fake double factory. And crucially, Nara has actually not decided to go for a quick expansion. He has built against this, and you know, I haven't watched every game from this era, so it's hard for me to really say too much. But I feel like this is more common for this time period whereas you would more often see a quick expansion later on in later years, especially, you know, more recent years. Well, I guess I haven't watched a lot of StarCraft in the last few years either. Things have changed a little bit. But in any case, he's playing safe is my point. And so he's prepared for this. He's got the shuttle out. He's got an observatory in case there's mines. He's running a shuttle across the map, though, just directly diagonal. Oh, does it see it? I think he saw that. I don't know if Yooi would have noticed it. That might have been like just a split second on his minimap that he would have seen a little blip there in order to know this was happening. And it looks like he might have noticed it because he's paused those tanks. And he's put his mines around his own base instead. Yeah, so he knows what's happening. He's trying to prepare for it. He was basically prepping an all-in with these 2 factories, researching siege tech and mines. Oh, Reaver drops out. Show us the Scarab. Show us the Scarab. We didn't see the Scarab. Looks like it didn't do too much damage, though. Is he going to land? Oh, the Scarab takes out 3 vultures. Is he going to start taking out SCVs as well? Oh, this is really bad for you. He loses a couple of... Oh, that Scarab looked like it was going to dud and then rushed off. No, don't bring your SCVs back. What are you doing? Oh no, the 3 tanks can't kill the Reaver in time, and he brought his SCVs back a moment too early. This is catastrophic for Yooi. He's lost like 10 SCVs, and he probably only has about 20 at this point in the game. Had about 20 at this point in the game. And look at this. Nara says, "I have got this now. I'm going for the kill. I know that if I go for..." Well, if he goes for a long game, he could probably still win, but if he doesn't, he definitely wins, I think, at this point. So he's just teching up, getting more gateways, just defending. I think he knows that Yooi has this one push, because he does have those 3 tanks. 3 tanks with siege mode, with a little bit to protect them, is a huge deal. He only lost 3 vultures, right? So his follow-up is not going to be as big as far as the amount of stuff he's going to be able to put out. He won't be able to expand behind this. I don't think he'll have the economy for it. But this push is still dangerous. So Yooi can still win this game. He's against 2 Reavers, it's going to be hard, but he may have done damage to those 2 Reavers before. And Nara does have an expansion, so he spent money on that it has not gone into units. Could have gotten gateways earlier. He's now up to 3 gateways, it looks like. So it comes down to this push. If Nara defends this... Whoa! Oh, he does take out the mine. Where's his observer? And his Nexus is almost dead, though. Can he take out these units before the Nexus goes down? He's going in. The Reaver drops out. Gets a good hit on the tanks. He's target firing the Nexus, though, with his units. He's using the vultures to distract the Dragoons. The Reaver drops out and kills both of the tanks. The Nexus is at like 100 health, and that last Marine does not have the firepower to finish it off. And I think that's it for Yooi. That was his chance. That was his push. He decided not to fight the... are these vultures going to be able to finish it off? Their mines are not in the best place to protect them. He does get a few more hits down there, but it looks like that Nexus is still at about 100 health. It's hard to see on the quality of video I have right here, but still, that was just catastrophic. He's just spent so much resources. And imagine if those tanks had instead attacked the Dragoons or tried to go after the Reavers or something like that. He'd basically gained nothing. By that Nexus still existing, he gained nothing for that entire attack, and all that firepower, all those shots directed towards the Nexus were completely wasted. If that Nexus doesn't somehow still die, maybe he could do another tank drop or something like that. Now, the power of Terran is that you can defend really well, right? So he's built up 4 or 5 more tanks, and he can probably hold off with mines and tanks a counter push. So this is going to go to a longer game. He recognizes that. Look, he's putting down a command center. He's going to try and make it go to a longer game. And, it's going to be hard for him to come back, but he doesn't really have an option. Pushing again is not an option. Nalra has gotten way too many defensive forces at this point. He's got those 2 Reavers in the shuttle. Here he comes in trying to do some more harassment. The tanks are following. The tanks are clumped up, though, with the SCVs. Oh, these skirps are going to be brutal. One goes off. Oh, several SCVs taken out. I think he has a healthy Reaver in there, too. He could drop that out and try and get another pot shot. But it's just... This is just... making matters even worse, and looks like Nalra has taken out that... Oh, there's the healthy Reaver, drops out, takes a couple shots, but gets a couple SCVs in return, and oh god, this is just so bad. 2 Reavers drop out. Oh no! Oh, so many SCVs dying. So many SCVs dying. If only he had one more turret over there. Instead, these Reavers can just do whatever they want, basically. He now has... Did he not have siege mode before? I actually didn't notice if maybe he researched vulture mines and speed instead of... I thought he had siege tech before, but come to think of it, we didn't actually see him siege up until just now, so maybe that wasn't the case earlier. In any case, Nalra is just in a commanding position here. Yooi is just trying to... And I'm sorry, I just realized, I don't even know if that's how you pronounce his nickname. I guess that would be kind of a Korean way of pronouncing it, but in any case, we don't know. I mean, he might be able to hold off this push with just tanks, because he hasn't lost a lot of forces since those initial 3 or 4 tanks with that push there. So it's possible he could hold things on here and try and rebuild his economy, but he's just lost so many SCVs. And Nalra's just kept producing probes, kept expanding. He's now at 3 bases. I think Nalra just wins the long game regardless, and that turret is not going to be able to protect those tanks. The Reaver drops out right on top of him. Couple Scarabs go down, and oh, the tanks go down. That's going to be GG, I think. He's going up the ramp. There we go. And this was Yooi's chance to get to a semifinals, to make a name for himself, to, you know, potentially, even if he didn't win the finals or anything like that, he could have gotten in a 4th or a 3rd place and really had his name on the leaderboards. And unfortunately, it wasn't the case in this instance. And something interesting I want to point out. So Yooi was basically like kind of the class of StarCraft player that was one of these B teamers that just Nalra's just rampaging in his base now. Speed Zealots rallied across the map to finish the job. It's interesting that, you know, there was this class of players. There's the GG coming from Yooi, and that's it. And he is eliminated. Nalra is going to advance into the semifinals. And let me check real quick here. Yeah, I won't spoil the eventuality, but I will tell you that Nalra does get to the finals of this. And it's so funny to talk about spoilers with games that were played 14 years ago. It's like spoiling, you know, old movies or something like that. It's like, yeah, if you haven't seen it yet, you know. But in any case, maybe I'll do some more Nalra games from this MSL at some point. This is the Pringles MSL. And so I won't quite say the ending, but let's get to the finals. In any case, just a real quick note about Yooi. Like I was trying to say earlier, there was a lot of these players that were like these B teamers that you know, just never did really well in Brood War, and a lot of them ended up doing really well in StarCraft 2 actually. So people like Fruit Dealer and Nesty were actually those. Kind of on the same level as Yooi was, and they ended up succeeding. People like Squirtle or even Bomber, right? They were all kind of these B team players that ended up doing really well in StarCraft 2, but we never really saw Yooi do that well, and possibly because he was an older gamer. Like I said, his career started earlier than that. So in any case, that's the end of the StarCraft for today, but I want to show something off real quick, if you guys don't mind. And even though I asked that, I also realized lately as I was thinking about this that anyone watching these videos are entirely old school Mole Trap fans that like forgot to unsub 9 years ago or whatever. And so I guess I can be a little bit confident that you guys don't mind me showing off a little bit. Anyway, so I've been doing some streaming on Twitch lately, and I just want to show something cool that I've done. And I'm proud of this in the same way that... Oh, that's right. I actually have a camera at the moment. I'm proud of this in the same way that a 7-year-old is proud of their macaroni art, because it's objectively bad, but when considered in the context of what they're capable of, it's pretty good, right? So, so for me, having never really tried to use any video, I've done video editing stuff in Premiere, but I tried to use After Effects recently, which is like a special effects program. I never tried it before because I was like, special effects, that's super complicated. I can't do that. And then I accidentally ran into a tutorial video and I watched it and I was like, that's not that bad. And so anyway, so I made my own stinger transition. So right now what you're seeing is what I would be streaming. You know, I would have a game here instead of just this screen. But this is a stinger transition. Watch this. Hey, look at that. It like does a little video trigger thing to go between scenes. So I only have like 2 scenes because I don't do a lot of complicated streaming. But anyway, I just thought that was cool and I thought I'd show off a little bit. So anyway, but also I wanted to mention again that I am trying to stream a few days a week. And so if you guys want to come and join me and you know, come play some games with me, that'd be cool. I usually just do like turn-based strategy games like XCOM or I like roguelikes, stuff like that. But a little bit of a teaser, I am hoping to do some StarCraft stuff on my stream too. Possibly doing some live casts of replays, or if I can obs some high-level players or something like that. But I'm also, let me know what you guys think about this, because I'm considering doing like a fake live retro finals, like set a time and date and like get the VODs for like a 2007 finals and like act like it's going on live basically and do like an event type thing. So anyway, if you're interested in that, let me know. If you want to come watch me play games, hang out and chat, Twitch TV/MoleTrap. So hopefully I'll see you there. I will be playing games either way. So if you don't want to, no big deal. Okay. That's pretty much it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching.